maker, and yesterday I made some bologneses. Today I'm going to transform them into lasagna for our Sunday lunch. So ingredients wise, we're going to start with a bechamel sauce, which is made from milk, flour and butter. And to that we're then going to add some cheese. Now I've got cheese which I've already pre-grated. Half of it's going to go into the bechamel sauce and half of it's going to be sprinkled on top. Part of the white sauce we will also include some Dijon mustard and some nutmeg, and then obviously we've got some lasagna sheets for the lasagna. So I'm making a double quantity because I made double quantity of the bolognese sauce. I've already measured out the milk, and to that I'm going to add the flour and the butter. Now this is the cheats way of making white sauce. You're supposed to start by mixing the butter and flour together and then adding the milk, but it's really long-winded and it takes a lot of arm work. So I'm going to do the cheats method, which is literally putting it all in the pot. Then you need a whisk and you heat it up slowly, whisking it all at the same time. So I'm putting the pan onto a medium-high heat, and straight away you need to start stirring with the whisk. Otherwise you end up getting a lumpy sauce, which is not very desirable. So the butter is all melted. There is still a few lumps in the top of flour, but that will dissipate if you keep mixing. And although it looks quite runny at the moment, the flour will thicken the sauce eventually once it's cooking out. So as you can see, the sauce has thickened, and at this point we're going to add some seasoning, some salt and pepper. I'm adding some Dijon mustard. And some nutmeg. And give that a good whisk up. Now that the sauce is thick, I've swapped my whisk for a wooden spoon, and I'm now going to add half of my cheese. I've got a mixture of cheddar cheese and parmesan. It's up to you whether you just use cheddar or if you use a mix or just parmesan, as they do in Italy. I'm going to put half of each of those in the mix and then give it a stir and leave it to melt. So keep the sauce on a really low heat now while the cheese is melting. You can use any cheese that you prefer. If you've got red Leicester, or if there's a particular cheese that you prefer, then use that. So once your white sauce is finished and done, you can then start to layer up your lasagna, and I'm going to put a little bit of the bolognese on the bottom, just to stop the lasagna from sticking to the base. And then to that bolognese, I'm just going to drizzle over a little bit of the white sauce for flavour. And then you add a layer of the pasta. Now my pan isn't quite square enough, so I'm just breaking off a little bit on the edges so that it's a bit rounder and can fit neater. But you need to be careful that you only have one layer of pasta, otherwise it dries out and doesn't cook properly. When you get to the end, because we don't want to overlap the pasta, just kind of breaking bits off, adding it like that. So you get. So on top of the first layer of pasta, you add a third of your mix, your bolognese mix, on top of the pasta. Now remember, I've got 2 lots of bolognese here because I'm making another one to put in the freezer. And then again, another little drizzle of white sauce for flavour. So I'm just taking these off, layering it up. And then just keep layering up until you've run out of pasta sheets or you've run out of bolognese. And then when you get to the top with the last layer of pasta, I'm just going to pour on the white sauce. Just spread it to the edges. And then on top of that, you can just add a layer of your cheeses, or whichever cheese you're using, which will make the top of the lasagna go really crispy and brown. And now I'm going to put that in the oven for about 45 minutes to an hour. Check that the pasta is cooked by inserting a sharp knife. If it goes through nice and easily, then you know it's done.